Hey guys, welcome back. This week we got something cool in store. We're going to try to build our own hand dredge. And the purpose being is I want to get into some riffles in those tunnels. This is the irrigation tunnels. I think that hand dredge will come in perfect when it comes time to go do that adventure. So I'm going to try to build one myself, and I'm going to show you guys how I do it. Welcome into the shop at Gold Headquarters. I'm going to start off by giving an inventory of kind of what we got so far. We got 2 3/4 inch caps. We got a P-trap, is a 3/4 inch P-trap. It's going to act as the handle. This is a 3/4 inch coupler. 2-inch cap. This is going to set at the very end of the thing, and what we're going to pull the 3/4 inch pipe through is right here. We're going to cut a hole right through that. And for that, you're going to need, some type of circular cutting device, or you could even use a jigsaw, something like that. Also, this is a T-piece, and I'm going to use this as my handle. So it's going to kind of sit there as I pull back on it. And it's a 2-inch by 2-inch, and then a 1/2 inch. And the 1/2 inch is where the handle is going to be. The 2-inch part is going to be the main pipe. And it's also going to act as sort of like an air escape as well. I'm not going to put a cap on my handle here. It's just going to have air. So the idea is when I pull it, what I'll be pulling, it'll stop basically right before it gets to that air hole. You're going to need a 2-inch coupler and a 2-inch bushing. This is a 2-inch bushing. It goes down to a 3/4 inch hole. And that's where the very tip of our dredges or hand dredge is going to be. There'll be a little tip on the end of that kind of sticking out there like that. And you can just pull back and it'll be the sucking end basically. And what we're going to use for our suction device is a tennis ball. And I'm going to cut some pieces right there. I'm going to do 2 of them. And they're going to act as the valve as it pulls up to suck up any material we potentially have. Also for this, you're going to need some type of sandpaper, or, I got this little grinder right here. File, I guess you can call it. A drill would help. And then also your primer and your PVC cement. All those things, everything here that I got was $64. Also got a 2-inch pipe, full length, a 3/4 inch pipe, full length, and a 1/2 inch pipe that they actually had already cut in half for me from their regular 8-foot, 10-foot lengths. But anyway, I'm going to show you guys an inventory. I'm going to post that up here so you guys can pause it and then use that. If you guys like my setup, you're more than welcome, obviously, to try to create your own. So I'm going to get started, and let's go. As promised, go ahead and pause it if you like. But that is the inventory list. I also forgot to mention the nut, 2 washers, and then an 1.5 inch bolt. We would use that to secure the tennis ball to our 3/4 inch pipe. So what we just did there, this is our 16-inch piece. Here's our 5-inch piece. And what we're going to do is put that right on there, this piece right on top, and then we're going to take this 2-inch cap and we're going to put that on top of here. And then I'll drill out a hole here, and we're going to stick our 3/4 inch pipe right through there. And basically the idea of what's going to happen is that we're going to take a 3/4 inch pipe. This is our 1/2 inch. I just got it because it's shorter. I haven't cut it yet. And what we're going to do is basically just make it about almost the same length is your main suction pipe. But we're going to leave a little bit more, that way we can attach the handle right to it. So then at that point we're going to have the tennis ball down here, and then our pipe will, or handle will connect up here. And then as we pull, it'll just go right through that hole and then right up our main tube and fill all this area up with material. So get back to cutting. Okay, so what we just did there, we just cut our 3/4 inch pipe to 22.5 inches. And again, I'm going to show you guys an inventory list of my exact cuts on each of the pipes. I'll do that here in a second. But anyway, it's just going to set just above that, just enough to put our 3/4 inch coupler on. And then from there, our awesome handle. You know, if this doesn't work out, I got a cool cane or maybe a good hitting stick. Okay, now it's going to be time to drill out our hole right in the middle of our 2-inch cap. For that, I am going to be using this 32 millimeter circular bit. Get our chuck here. Pretty well set there. Just try to choose a spot right in the middle as best you can. I'll lift that up a little more. Well, we're almost through. Okay, now we got a spot for a 3/4 inch pipe to slide right through. And you know, it's not perfect, it's not super tight, but it's not also super loose. It's just right in there. It's doing what it's supposed to do. And the real trick is the valve down here. That's the part that needs to be really tight to the 2-inch pipe. But this spot is really just a guide. That way it can stay in place as we pull this end and bring the valve up. This is our 1/2 inch pipe. This is going to be our final cut. And I got this at 6.5 inches. And again, this is going to be the handle that sticks out from the T-spot. Not putting a cap on this end, just letting the air come right through it. I need to do one more cut. I'm going to set it at 6 inches, and I'm going to use this piece as our tip. The tip nozzle. Right there. Doesn't have to be exact, but basically what I'm going to do is cut it straight there, and then I'm going to cut it at an angle down here. That way it can get into the riffles a little bit better on those culverts. And again, that's the whole purpose of this, is get down into the culverts, be able to suction right out of there in between as they go up and down in the metal, corrugated metal. And that little extra cut there will help us get down in there a little bit better. So anyway, I'm going to finish up this final cut, bring you right back. Inventory list of all the cuts. So you can see each pipe and where you got to cut it at if you want to do this exact setup. I got 2 3/4 inch caps here. One is a little bit more rounded at the top, and the other one's a little bit flatter. I'm going to use the flat end for the bottom of my valve pipe. And to that we're going to connect our bolt, washer, then it'll go through the hole to another washer, and then we're going to put the 2 tennis ball cutouts right at the end, and then a nut on top of that. So all that is going to be connected right up in this cap. This other one, this more rounded, I'm going to use that as the handle cover. So it'll just sit on there just like that. Pretty easy. So again, just choose a spot as best as you can in the middle. And there she is drilled out. So now this thing should theoretically go right up in there, and it does. So like I said, I'm going to do one more washer on that side, the tennis balls, and then a nut. And then that'll set down there. This will give you a better idea now. That'll set down there just like that. You'll see the stuff coming out, the tennis ball. Time to cut this little tennis ball. Using a very sharp razor knife. And this might take a little bit of chopping and cutting, but it'll go through. Just try your best to stay on that line. That way you get a perfect circle. And the way you do that in order to get that line is you just stick it on your pipe and then just take your marker and trace right around the edge there, and that'll give you a pretty perfect diameter in order to get a really tight fit inside of our pipe here. I got that ball cut apart into two different halves, and what I'm going to do here, take this. This is our cap that we drilled the hole through. And I'm going to attach one of these. Attach one more. Just trying to get the best suction that I can out of this. To hammer that in, but it'll go through. So we got it through. What I'm going to do is try to put some thread locker on this. That way I don't got to deal with it in the future of it coming off potentially. Put our washer on, and then just hand thread the nut onto the bolt just for a second. Gonna want to take your wrench, and again, this is a 3/4 inch bolt, so just get you a 3/4 inch socket. And tighten down. And it'll stop. You'll feel it when it gets real tight. You don't need to go any further. Well, now as you can see, I mean, we still got a good amount of space there. So this should be a really tight fit, and we shouldn't have that thing, get away from us at all. And just to be sure, I am going to add a little bit more thread locker to the very top. And this again just stops it from coming out of there. But now we can sort of put it together, and you guys will get your first real visual of how this thing's going to work. Take that part off. This part right here. And that'll go on there. Oh yeah, you can tell that's a really tight fit. I mean, that is what you want. And at the end, we don't come out of the bottom. I mean, we're right there. And of course, everything comes apart right now because it's not PVC cemented together. And basically what I'm going to do here at the very end, put the 2-inch coupler on there, put the bushing on there, and then we're going to have our end cap. Oh, sorry, this one. So at that point, that is our suction thing. Like I said, it's going to come all the way back here. I mean, that's going to be a pretty good size down inside of a culvert. So I didn't want it to be too big, but I didn't want to be too small either. And I think that we've reached a really good happy medium with this. So I'm going to go ahead and glue everything together. The only parts I'm not gluing together are right down here. The coupler can be glued on, but I am not going to be gluing on this bushing. The bushing needs to come off because sometimes you get stuff stuck in there, and you just really need to be able to do some maintenance. So anyway, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and glue everything. I'll bring you guys back to check out the finished product. We did it. This thing works phenomenal. Got the handle, pulls right back, pushes right back in. I gotta say, this handle is very handy. Let's see how it works. Let's just go right to the test. You got a bucket of concentrates here. I'm gonna be putting it right into our pan. Just to show you, there's nothing in the pan. It's all just water. That picked up all that material, all that black sand. I say I give this an A+. Well, it's still pouring down rain out here, but we had a pretty good time in the gold shop. Here at Gold Headquarters, another day in the books. Now we just got a really cool tool to take with us next time we go to some culverts. And I'm really happy about that. Big O Brewski, out.